Something unexpected has just happened, and it's not coming from the media, not from official sources, but from the fans themselves. A discovery so unusual, so detailed, that it has quietly shaken the entire online community. Reports are emerging that Lee Min-ho and MinKyo were seen together in a place no one was supposed to find. Not a public event, not a filming location, not even a scheduled appearance, just a hidden corner where two people seemed to exist away from the spotlight. What makes this story different is not just the sighting, but how it was uncovered. Fans didn't stumble onto this moment by chance. They followed a trail, a sequence of small clues that slowly built into something undeniable. And now, those who have seen the details say this wasn't coincidence. It felt intentional, private, almost like a moment that wasn't meant to be shared with the world. Stay with this story because what unfolds next isn't just about where they were, but how an entire community managed to uncover something that was never meant to be seen. To understand how this all began, you have to look at something most people would ignore: a gap. Not a dramatic disappearance, not a headline-worthy absence, but a quiet, perfectly aligned break in both of their public schedules. Individually, it meant nothing. Together, it raised questions. Fans who have spent years analyzing patterns noticed it instantly. The timing matched too precisely to be random, creating a window of time that neither had publicly accounted for. That's when curiosity turned into investigation. Online communities began comparing notes, digging into timelines, and revisiting past patterns that had once hinted at shared moments. This wasn't guesswork, it was careful observation. One small irregularity led to another, and soon the idea formed that this wasn't just a break in routine, but possibly a shared escape. What made it more intriguing was how subtle everything was. No announcements, no hints, no public clues, just silence. And sometimes, silence speaks louder than anything else. That silence became the starting point of a search that would grow far more precise than anyone expected. The next breakthrough didn't come from a major source. It came from something ordinary. A small, almost forgettable post from a remote location surfaced online, showing nothing more than a glimpse of daily life. But within that post was a detail that didn't quite belong, something that caught the attention of those who knew exactly what to look for. It wasn't obvious, not to most people, but to a trained eye, it stood out. That single detail triggered a wave of analysis. Fans began cross-referencing locations, environmental features, and subtle indicators that matched known preferences and past behaviors. What followed was a collaborative effort where different pieces of information were layered together like a puzzle. Independent observations started pointing toward the same conclusion, narrowing down a specific area. This process wasn't random, it was methodical, almost like digital detective work. The more they analyzed, the clearer the picture became. What started as a vague possibility turned into a focused search, and soon, multiple paths of reasoning all led to one place, a hidden destination that seemed deliberately chosen for privacy. When the location was finally identified, what people found there changed everything. This wasn't a crowded tourist spot or a glamorous getaway. It was quiet, remote, and deeply natural. The kind of place that doesn't demand attention, but rewards those who truly experience it. Observers described a setting where time seemed to slow down, where movement felt unhurried and genuine. And within that setting, the two figures at the center of this story were seen not as celebrities, but simply as people, walking without urgency, talking without performance, sharing moments that felt real rather than staged. There was no sign of cameras, no indication of awareness that anyone was watching. That's what made it powerful. The way they interacted wasn't dramatic or exaggerated. It was subtle, calm, and deeply comfortable. Conversations flowed, laughter appeared naturally, and even silence seemed meaningful rather than empty. It was the kind of interaction that doesn't need explanation because it speaks for itself. And for those who witnessed it, that quiet authenticity was far more convincing than any public appearance could ever be. What this moment ultimately revealed wasn't something loud or shocking, but something much deeper. It showed a glimpse of a connection that exists beyond headlines and public narratives. Not a staged story, not a moment designed for attention, but something ongoing and real. The location they chose, the way they moved, the ease between them, it all pointed towards something intentional. This wasn't about proving anything to the world, it was about stepping away from it. For the community that followed this journey, the discovery wasn't just about finding a place, it was about understanding what that place represented. A space where everything slows down, where presence matters more than perception, and where two people can exist without expectation. And maybe that's why this story has captured so much attention. Because it doesn't rely on drama or spectacle, it relies on something quieter, something harder to fake, genuine connection. Now, the question is, what do you think this moment really means? Because sometimes the most powerful stories aren't the ones that are announced, they're the ones that are quietly discovered.